My beloved child, when you pause for a few seconds to listen to these words, know that you are not merely hearing them by chance, but by a divine appointment set long before you were formed in your mother's womb. This is a sacred moment within the hurried current of life where I, the one who called light out of darkness, speak to you in the voice of love and eternal purpose. Not everyone chooses to stop and listen, but you have, and by that choice, the gate of grace has opened before your eyes. In a world filled with clamor, where each new notification easily distracts you, what I invite you into today is not just another signal in the cloud of information. No, my child, this is a deep calling, echoing from eternity, inscribed upon your soul before you ever spoke your first word. I am calling you out of the aimless whirl of the familiar into a living journey where my word is not merely ink on a page, but the bread of life nourishing your spirit. Do not see. True life is not found in the material things you hurriedly accumulate, nor in the events that crowd your schedule. True life is in being connected to the source of Liftome, your Creator, your Heavenly Father, the one who never forgets you, even when you forget yourself. And today, in this quiet moment, I set before you a decision. Will you choose to cling to the living word, or will you let it pass by like so many things that have brushed through your life? It is no coincidence that Jesus once said, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." Matthew 4:4. This is not mere metaphor, it is a foundational truth of the spiritual life. You cannot stand firm in the storm without a foundation. You cannot discern falsehood without the light of truth. And you cannot love fully until you've touched the love that never changes me. I know there are days when everything feels dry and meaningless. Nights when you sit alone, tapping the screen, hoping for something to shift. But it is in those very moments of weariness that I still whisper, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. Not fleeting rest, but deep rest for your soul, where the invisible wounds are healed, and your spirit is restored in my loving presence. My child, when you clicked the subscribe button in this digital world, did you know what you were truly doing was signing your name into a sacred covenant that I am ready to fulfill with you, not merely to follow a channel, but to embark on a journey where my word becomes a lamp to your feet, a light for your path, a tool to transform your inner life. You are not a passive listener. You are the called, the set apart, the chosen among nations. I do not seek perfection from you. I seek surrender. I do not require you to understand everything. I only long for you to open your heart. Just one first stepone, small act of trust is enough for me to do something great within you. I am the one who can turn deserts into fertile ground, who can breathe life into dreams that have withered, who can rebuild shattered faith crushed under life's weight. And I am beginning that work now. If you will only dare to say, "Lord, here I am." My child, how far have you drifted from where I called you? Perhaps not far in distance, but your soul may have wandered under the weight of many concerns. Yet I do not condemn you. I invite you. I do not judge from afar. I run to embrace you, because I am your Father, and you are my beloved child, the one for whom my only Son shed his blood to redeem, and now I am calling you home. When you hear this call, please do not delay. Do not let your heart harden with doubt. Do not push away this moment because of fleshly weariness. For this is not just a message, it is a window of heaven opened wide, inviting you to enter a deeper place with me, where nothing is random and everything holds eternal meaning. My beloved child, there is one thing many have forgotten: the power of a heart that listens. In a world overflowing with clamor and the struggle for attention, it is the humble soul that quietly waits before me that hears the sounds of eternity. Life does not erupt from noise, but it is kindled in the moment you choose silence to receive what I speak. And today, if you are ready, I will plant a seed in your heart, not a seed of shallow knowledge, but of deep transformation that reaches to the very core of your soul. I have seen you in the weary days of life. I have witnessed every nameless tear falling upon your pillow, every sigh too deep for others to understand. No one truly knows the battles you're facing within, but I do. No one sees the things you surrender quietly, but I see. I am the one who knows both the heart and every hidden thought, and my love is not dependent on what others see. While others may look at you and see an ordinary person, I see a warrior roan who carries within a potential that belongs to an unshakable kingdom. You have heard many sermons, read many words, but today, I am not inviting you to more knowledge. I am inviting you to the word that carries the power to change you. For the words of man may reach the mind, but only my word can touch the essence of the soul. When you allow my word to enter deep within, it becomes a sword that divides soul and spirit, revealing what is hidden and healing what has long been broken. Do you know that every time you hear and hold on to my word, you are building a spiritual house that no storm can tear down? Many storms will come. I do not promise to spare you from them, but I do promise that if you stand on my word, you will not fall. My word is not a cloak to be worn in comfort and cast aside in hardship. It is a tool, a weapon, an armor. It is the breath of your soul. Whoever holds it holds life. Whoever takes it lightly is surrendering the very foundation of their salvation. There are seasons in your spiritual life when you will not see visible results. You will pray and hear no answer. You will read the scriptures and feel nothing in your heart. But that is precisely the time to cling to my word more tightly than ever. For in the darkness of waiting, faith is refined. In the desert of silence, loyalty is forged. And in those seemingly meaningless days, the seed of my word is quietly sprouting beneath the soil, preparing to bloom and bear fruit in the time known only to me. My child, if you truly desire to enter a life of depth, know that it does not come from fleeting emotion. It comes from a persistent choice, each day, to open your heart before me, each morning, to listen for my word, each moment of weakness, to return to my feet. You do not need to be a theologian only, a child who is willing to listen. For the great things I have prepared are not for the most intelligent, but for the most obedient hearts. You will see when you live by the word, you begin to change from within, not because you strive to be better, but because the life within the word naturally bears fruit. Forgiveness will flow where bitterness once lived. Love will pour out where wounds once bled. Peace will reign where chaos once ruled. This is not your work, it is the work of my word when you allow it to dwell in you fully. Do you remember the first moment your heart trembled before me? No one forced you then. No one manipulated you. It was only a gentle call from within, and you responded. Just like now, I do not use force to compel you. I use love to persuade you, because true love never violates freedom. It always invites you into safety, and the only safe place is where you are rooted in my word. You may not realize it yet, but every small act you make today, like choosing to read these words in fullies, building a spiritual map that leads you to the finish. No act of obedience is ever wasted. No prayer is ever unheard, and no seeking ever escapes my notice. Even one small step, when taken under my guidance, becomes the first step into a brand new path. Think of those around you. How many are drowning in despair, not knowing where truth lies? How many souls are lost in the night, longing for a light? You are not only called to receive, but to become a bearer of the light. But before you can shine for others, you must first be ignited by my word. Beloved child, within every human heart lies a void that nothing in this world can fill. No status, no wealth, no relationship can ease that thirst. That empty space was created by me, set apart for my very presence. And only when you receive the living word from me will that void be filled, not with something temporary, but with what never fades, unchanging truth, unconditional love, and hope that cannot be extinguished. I have not called you to memorize another passage or follow a ritual. I have called you to live truly, deeply, and with eternal purpose. I know you have grown weary of pretense, of lifeless religious patterns, of human promises that never come to pass. But I am not like them. My word is yes and amen. What I have promised, I will fulfill. If I have declared that you are called, then no force can stop that destiny when you walk in trust and obedience. This world will always try to pull you away from your connection with me. It will press you into packed schedules and overwhelming responsibilities until there's no room left to breathe, to listen. But the greatest danger is not simply being busy, it is being so busy that you forget you were created for something far greater, to live in my presence. When you silence the outer noise, you will hear me more clearly. When you choose to prioritize time with me, you will step into a new realm where wisdom does not come from books, but from a living relationship between father and child. Never underestimate the value of a single day devoted to my word. One such day can shift your entire destiny. A single verse of the living word can drive back the darkness that has lingered over you for years. One quiet moment with me can heal a wound that time alone could never mend. For I am not bound by time. I am the everlasting one. And when you step into the dimension of my word, you begin to step beyond human limitation and touch the undiminished power of heaven. Do not think you are too small to be used in my great plan. Every prophet, every soul of great spiritual influence, began with quiet hours of prayer. These were not people admired by the world, but they stood out in my eyes because they knew the value of treasuring my word in their hearts. They did not seek a stage, they sought my presence. They did not crave recognition, they longed for my affirmation. I did not choose you because you were worthy. I chose you because you are the object of my love. And true love does not remain still. True love acts. Because I love you, I cannot remain silent as you drift away from the source of life. I will do everything to awaken you, not with thunder, but with the strong gentleness of a father who refuses to give up on his child. I send this word to remind you, the door is still open. You can return, begin again, and rebuild a life founded on my unshakable word. You've believed you needed too much to begin. You waited for better circumstances, more free time, greater strength. But child, if you keep waiting, you'll never begin. Because beginnings don't come when everything is perfect. Beginnings come when you dare to step out in faith, with just one small yes today. I can bring forth a harvest of souls that no one can hinder. With just one act of trust, I can redirect the flow of your destiny not by your might, but by the power from on high. When you choose to anchor your life in my word, you will no longer be shaken by troubling news, invisible threats, or sudden storms, because you will know the only true place of safety not in human systems, but in the unmovable rock that is my word. You may lose many things, but if you keep my word, you will never truly lose, for all else shall pass away, but my word will remain forever. There is a generation longing for something real. They do not need more scripted sermons. They need to witness a life in which my word is alive and active, and you are called to be such a life. Do not think that your quiet faithfulness goes unseen. I see it, and the world will see it too. When I begin to use you to bring light into the darkest places. But before you can become light, you must first step into the light, and that light begins with a decision to treasure my word in your heart and to live by it each day. My beloved child, in a world that changes with every passing day, where traditional values are overturned and truth is distorted now more than ever, I am calling you to stand firm, not to stand firm on the opinions of men, nor on the shifting sands of your own emotions, but to stand on that which never wavers, my word. Once you build the foundation of your life on this unshakable truth, no flood can overwhelm you. No storm can tear you down. You will not be moved. You may not realize it, but every day you walk through life, you are standing in the midst of a spiritual battlefield. This battle does not roar like those of the earthly kind, but it strikes deep, affecting the very roots of your soul. There are thoughts seeking to creep into your mind, persuading you to exchange truth for comfort, the eternal for the temporary. But I have given you a powerful weapon to overcome, my word. The double-edged sword that cuts through every deception and casts light into every shadow. Do not underestimate the importance of listening to my word daily. This is not merely a religious habit, it is survival. Every time you open your heart to receive what I speak, it washes away the spiritual dust that has settled on you along your journey. Every time you memorize my word, another stone is laid into the eternal foundation of your soul. And each time you live it out in real life, a new door opens in the spiritual realm where miracles happen, not by human strength, but by the power that flows from obedience. My child, countless souls are fading away for lack of proper nourishment. They may eat well and laugh outwardly, but within, their spirits are worn and withered from the absence of living truth. They wander through the night, seeking meaning amid the noise, only to find the emptiness growing. And among them are those who are watching you. They're looking to see if your life is truly different, if there is something stable and trustworthy amid the chaos. If you live by my word, they will see the light in you, a light that does not come from eloquent teachings, but from my presence flowing through a surrendered heart. I did not call you to be great by the standards of this world. I called you to be complete by the design of heaven. And that completeness begins with being saturated in my word, not as a lifeless routine, but as your very breath. You will see, when my word becomes part of you, your responses will no longer be driven by emotion, but by wisdom from above. You will no longer be easily deceived by pretty appearances, for my word within you will discern the true from the false. You will no longer panic when everything around you falls apart, for your heart is anchored in what cannot be shaken. Look to the lives of those who went before you, those who held fast to faith not by their own willpower, but because they built with me, day by day. They did not need the approval of crowds to validate their worth. They only needed assurance from above, and that assurance came because they treasured every word I spoke. They let my word become their compass, their reason for living, their strength to forgive when wounded, their courage to rise after falling, and their grace to love even when rejected. You once asked me, how can I remain unshaken amid the growing flood of deception? The answer is simple. Let my word become your root. A tree that does not fall in the storm is one with deep roots. So it is with you. If your life is daily steeped in my word, then even when evil surrounds you, you will not be swept away. For you have been grafted into a system untouched by this world, a system of eternal life. There may be times when you feel weak, unworthy of doing great things, but in that very weakness, if you choose to cling to my word, you will find I give strength. I do not wait for you to become strong before I use you. I only need your willingness, everything else I will take care of. For my power is made perfect in your weakness. 2 Corinthians 12-9. You don't need to perform miracles. You simply need to live faithfully. You don't need to prove anything. You only need to be true to what you have received from me. And it is that quiet, steadfast faithfulness that will stir the hearts of those still searching for what is real. My beloved child, the world will continue to shout for your attention, but I always speak in stillness. Only those who choose to slow down and listen with their spirit will receive the deep revelations I have set apart for them. Each day, you live between two forces. One seeks to pull you into doubt, fear, and distraction. The other affirms a steadfast promise, a confirmation that you belong to something far more sacred than any title man could bestow. I have given you the power to choose. And the miracle is this: when you choose to hear me, nothing of the darkness can hold you. Every decision to listen pushes back the chaos. Every moment of surrender opens up a new realm in your spiritual journey. You will come to see this. My word is unlike anything you've ever known. It does not age with time. It is not outdated amidst the surge of technology. It does not fade in a world that craves shallow novelty. My word is always alive and powerful, a divine stream, ready to nourish even the driest places in your soul. When you read and hold on to it, it's not merely knowledge entering your mind, it is life being activated within you. Things that once seemed dead: hope, faith, love will begin to rise again, not by your striving, but by the very supernatural life that flows through my word. I know there are times when you feel as if you're in a barren land, without direction, where everything you once trusted appears to be slipping away. But it is precisely there that my word becomes manna from heaven, just as my people of old were fed by bread from the skies. Today I also supply you with every word in its due season, each encouragement in its right time, every revelation perfectly timed. You are never abandoned in the wilderness. You are daily provided for through a wondrous means the world cannot comprehend, the word of the one who created all things. There are things in your life that will never happen unless my word is first sown into you, not because I lack the power, but because I honor the process. Just as no harvest can come without seed, no miracle can unfold without a foundation of faith. And faith comes by hearing not the noise, but hearing my word Romans 10:17. This is why I urge you, do not neglect time with me each day. Every moment you choose to listen is a step closer to the destiny heaven has already prepared for you. Don't wait for intense emotions to begin. Often, transformation arrives without any dramatic feeling. It comes gently, like water soaking into the earth. But if you persist in watering your soul with my word, drop by drop, you will witness something wondrous. Your heart will soften. Your eyes will grow clearer. Your spirit will awaken. What you could not understand before will start to make sense. The questions that once tormented you will slowly fade into the background. In their place will come a peace, not because you know everything, but because you trust the one who knows all and holds your hand. I have not called you to live a dry, burdensome life of religious duty. I invite you into a journey of life, where each day is a new discovery of my faithfulness. You will never cease to be amazed when you begin to live by my word. For just when you think you've grasped it, I will unveil yet another depth. There is no end, no limit, because my word is not merely a message, it is me. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John 1:1. When you take hold of the Word, you are entering into union with me. So, my child, what will you choose? Immediate gratification or lasting fulfillment? Fleeting emotional stories or a life built upon unshakable truth? I do not pressure you through fear. I invite you through love. But I will not hide this truth. The choice you make today will shape the season you step into tomorrow. If you want to see a difference, begin by choosing to listen. Not to know more, but to live more truly. Not to accumulate information, but to be transformed from within. My beloved child, let me remind you of something that may seem simple, yet carries profound weight. It is my word that is the source of true life. You may chase after 100 different pursuits in this life: success, relationships, personal dreams, but without the foundation of the living word. All of it is like castles built on sand. When the floodwaters of trials come, anything not rooted in me will collapse. But what is built upon my word will stand forever. For no darkness can shake what has been established in the light. Do you know that my word is not just for those who preach from the pulpit or hold theological degrees? No, my child, my word is for everyone, even those who feel small, overlooked, or unworthy. I do not distinguish between the fast reader or the slow, the one who prays aloud or whispers in silence. I look at the heart, and if you hunger, I will fill you. If you thirst for truth, I will reveal myself. No one is excluded from heaven's invitation. At times, those who believe they know the most are the driest within. They've heard countless sermons but lack surrender. They can recite chapter and verse, yet their spirits remain unchanged. Meanwhile, someone quietly reading a single verse with tear-filled eyes may find their life transformed forever. Because transformation doesn't come from the amount of knowledge, but from the depth to which my word is allowed to penetrate your soul, deep enough not only to shift your thoughts, but to renew your heart and redirect the course of your life. Have you ever sat and wondered, why does my heart remain unsettled, even after trying everything to find peace? The answer doesn't lie in temporary solutions, but in whether my word is truly dwelling within you. Real peace doesn't come from the absence of problems, but from having a solid foundation in the midst of them. And my word is that foundation. When you allow it to rule your mind, Your heart remains unshaken even when circumstances shift. For my word is a light that never dims, a power that never fades. Remember this, you cannot live by feelings. Emotions may draw you near to me for a moment, but only obedience to my word will carry you with me through the entire journey. That is what I long for, not a fleeting reaction, but a life of steady connection. You don't need to feel anything extraordinary for my word to take effect. Whether you read it through tears, in dryness, or even in doubt, my word is still my word. It still carries life. It still flows like a quiet stream, seeping into the dry places you didn't even know existed. Many seek signs, emotional highs, supernatural encounters to prove that I am at work. But I ask you this, what could be more miraculous than walking daily in obedience, allowing my word to gradually change the way you see the world, treat others, and shape your future? That is the greatest miracle of all, the miracle of inner transformation, and no enemy can stop it when you are firmly rooted in me. And don't forget, when you live by my word, you are sowing for a harvest yet to come. You may not see the results today, but the word sown will not return void. Whatever I speak will come to pass, and what you hold in your heart today, a verse, a promise, will one day become your fortress in trouble, your light in the dark, your bread when every other source runs dry. What you are storing up in faithfulness now will burst forth in my timing, and you will be amazed to see it bringing life not only to you, but to those around you. So, my child, don't just hear and move on. Pause it. Let what I speak become the foundation for every decision you make. Choose to build your life not only upon personal dreams, but upon my eternal promises. Let the time you live not slip away in vain, but become a witness that you lived for what is everlasting. For a life built upon my word will never be empty. It will produce an impact that surpasses space and Timean impact that will echo forever into eternity. My beloved child, I see the transformation unfolding within you. Though it may not yet be clear to the naked eye, I know something is awakening, gentle, stirring in your spirit. Like a soft breeze brushing over a long parched field, it is a sign of life being revived. And it is my word that has ignited this awakening. For nothing moves a soul like the sound of the one who formed it. You are not starting over by chance. You are being called back to the original purpose I designed for your life. Perhaps you have lost your way before, placed your trust in the wrong places, or been wounded so deeply that hope for restoration seemed out of reach. But now, I want you to know this. What I begin, I never abandon. My word not only holds the power to begin anew, but also the ability to mend what has been torn within you. No wound is too deep. No pain is too late to heal. All I ask is that you let me come and know with guarded reasoning, but with a heart fully open. Let me ask you this. Of all the things you've ever heard praise, criticism, promises, rejection, any word ever truly rescued you from the pit of despair? Has any voice ever brought true life, unshakable rest to your soul? If not, then today I invite you to listen again to the only voice that can, mine, the voice of the one who never breaks a promise, who never ceases to love, who sees you even when you feel invisible to the world. There are seasons in life when everything seems cloaked in silence. Prayers appear unanswered. Genuine efforts go unrecognized. Yet it is in these very silences that you are being prepared for something greater. And the secret to not becoming paralyzed in that waiting is this: hold fast to my word, not because you feel something, but because you trust the one who spoke it. Faith does not require immediate proof. It simply needs a living word as its foundation. If you look back over your life, you will realize that your most steadfast moments were tied not to achievements or applause, but to the presence of my word. Not when you stood in the spotlight, but when you were alone in a quiet room, heart open, letting my living letters soak into your bones. Those silent mornings, those hidden moments in the still of night, those became altars where I met you, where faith was born, and where invisible battles were won without a witness. My child, when you come to me just as you are with every weakness, every question, even your doubts, I do not turn away. On the contrary, I draw nearer, for I know your limitations well, but I also know the potential I have placed within you. And when your heart aligns with my word, the impossible becomes possible not by your own strength, but by power from above. Perhaps you've heard this before, but today let it echo differently in your spirit. You are my child, not just a believer among the crowd, not an anonymous face. You are known, loved, and called, and that call never expires, never falters. It rings through time, cuts through wounds, pierces through every rejection, and reaches into the deepest part of you to say, come home. I'm still waiting, and the plan I wrote for you still stands in full. Remember, you don't need to become someone else to be used. You with your voice, your unique story, your scars, and your lessons are the vessel I long to use. But the condition is this: you must stay connected to the source of life. And nothing connects you more quickly or powerfully than living by my word. When my word dwells in you, everything else will begin to shift accordingly. No striving, no pretending, for true transformation begins within and radiates outward from my presence in your heart. So if today you feel a slight stirring inside the quiet pull, an unnamed emotion, know that it is the sign of my touch. Do not shut it down. Do not reason it away. Do not delay. Let yourself fall fully into my embracino, more resisting, no more holding back. Because once you let me in, I will not only mend what is broken, but rebuild your life in a way no one else can. And it all begins with one simple yet powerful act: receiving my word and letting it live in you. My beloved child, never underestimate the power of a soul that chooses to open itself to the life that comes from me. In a world that constantly demands you to prove yourself, to strive, to perform, I am calling you simply to return. Return to your true nature. A child not born to chase applause, but to walk steadily in the assurance of the Father. And it is in my word that you will rediscover that identity, not through human standards, but through the light of unchanging truth. You cannot overcome the rebellious voices within without a greater sound. And my word is that very sound. When you are tormented by the sting of failure, when your mind is filled with accusations long spoken over you, my word will rise like a mighty warrior, driving out all that does not belong to life, not with noise, but with certainty, not with emotion, but with heavenly authority. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. This is not merely a word of encouragement. It is a truth sealed by my own mouth. Know this: the enemy does not fear you believing in me. at an emotional level. What he fears is when you plant my word deep into your heart and live it out day by day. For then, you are no longer just a believer. You become a bearer of power. Not power to boast, but power to break chains, to call forth life in barren places, to step into darkness and shine without fear of being overcome. Such a one is not made through learned wisdom, but by life imparted through the word. My beloved child, a tree does not grow in a day. A seed does not sprout from a glance. Miracles happen in persistence, in endurance. I am working even when you do not see. Every word you read, every minute you spend in reflection, is cultivating a field that will yield fruit in its season. And when that season comes, you will realize not a single drop of sweat shed in pursuit of me was ever in vain. Child, I did not build you to be a hearer who forgets. I long to see the living word seep into your bloodstream, become the beat of your heart, the drive behind your every action, the light for every step you take. When that happens, you won't need to shout for others to see the light. They will feel the difference. They will be drawn not by persuasive words, but by the presence from above flowing through your life. For my glory cannot be hidden when my word is honored and treasured within you like a precious gem. There will be seasons when you are not called to go far, but to stop and go deeper in me. Do not think silence means stagnation. Do not assume hiding away means being forgotten. I have special seasons for laying foundations for greater things, and that foundation is not activity, but union with the Word. It is in the time that seems uneventful that I am teaching you how to fight in stillness, how to win battles through quiet obedience, and how to step into transformation not through noise, but through unshakable certainty. My child, the world needs a generation that not only speaks of me, but lives by me. A generation that does not wait for convenience to worship, but builds a life rooted in truth, whether in favor or trial. A generation that understands real strength does not come from bursts of effort, but from daily perseverance in the Word, chapter by chapter, verse by verse, step by simple step. That is how I raise heroes of faith, not through fireworks, but through morning obedience, not through the praise of man, but through faithfulness before heaven. You may wonder, can my life truly make a difference among millions out there? I tell you this, a life built on my word can create silent waves that cannot be quenched. You do not know who is watching you. You do not know how many are waiting for a life that is real. But I know, and that is why I keep placing my word before you, not to fill your head, but to transform the world through every decision you make to live in truth. My beloved child, listen intently to what I am about to declare, for not everyone is invited to enter into this appointed moment. Amid the countless voices clamoring each day, my voice comes through in the stillness, unobtrusive, uncompetitive, yet steadfast, clear, and more ardent than ever. In the hour in which you live, the distinction between those who know the Word and those who live by the Word has never been more urgent. Many hear, but few truly allow the living Word to become the heartbeat of their soul. And I call you not merely to listen, but to act, to be vibrant amid a generation drowning in deception. Do you know why my word is often likened to a two-edged sword? It is not to wound, but to divide sharply what is true from what is false, light from darkness, life from death. On those days when you feel torn by choices, My word will guard you against being deceived by appearances. It will lead you beyond the veneer of human wisdom to discern what pertains to eternal life and what is fleeting. A life not illuminated by the word is easily tempted by things that seem good but are not right. The world continually urges you to believe that emotions, recognition, and popularity are paramount. But my word will always remind you that truth is what matters most. Only truth sets you free, no matter how intense your feelings or widespread the acclaim. They are transient and fallible. Yet the word I speak, if you hold fast to it, will light your path and bring a freedom nothing else can replace. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. You need not dwell in the prison of emotion, false expectations, or self-condemnation. When that word touches the depths of your heart, every chain will shatter. There are battles in your heart that no one sees, whispers of doubt, images from your past trying to make you falter, but know that you are not alone. I have given you weapons for victory, not mere words of encouragement, but the living word inscribed upon your heart. When you speak what I have declared, you are invoking authority. When you reject falsehood by the true word, you stand on promised ground. Each time you choose to live by that truth, heaven records the victory, not only because you triumph, but because you choose to stand firm amid a world of lies. Do not wait until you feel strong to begin the fight. Start when you are still trembling, yet firmly grasp the promises I have given. Begin by reading a single verse and standing upon it all day like a soldier holding ground on the battlefield. Take my word as your breastplate, your helmet of salvation, your spirit-wielded sword, and you will discover that when every other resource fails, my word remains powerful to dispel every threat from the darkness. Do not be surprised if, after a season of faithfully living by the word, you are misunderstood. The world cannot comprehend one who refuses its principles. The values you uphold will unsettle some. For light always confounds darkness, but do not be discouraged. You are not called to please people, but to reflect my glory. And that can only happen when my word truly dwells within you like a precious seed. You may experience days when you feel utterly alone, but you are never solitary. You are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, those who have gone before, those who now run the race of faith alongside you, and the angels watching over your path. Above all, the Creator who spoke eternal life into you, ever present. Each time you open my word, you enter a holy place where I wait to reveal myself, to speak, to heal, and to guide. Continue to hold fast to what I have taught you. Even if today you see no clear fruit, do not let go, stand firm. For the season will not delay. The door will open when the time is complete, and those who persevere in living by the word will step into their destiny, unimpeded by any earthly power. Do not cease sowing. Do not cease believing. Do not cease clinging to the truth. For what you build today will become a refuge for you and for all whom I lead to you by the life you live. My beloved child, when I see you continuing to walk in the light of my word, my heart overflows with a joy beyond what human language can express. For you are no longer just a listener, you are becoming one who lives out the truth. And once that happens, you are no longer simply one who is saved, but one who is sent, not to teach with pride, but to live humbly in the world, bringing true love to souls thirsting for something solid and enduring. Let me remind you of a sacred truth. My word is never empty or meaningless. Every letter, every phrase, carries within it the seed of life. When you receive my word by faith, that life takes root, grows, and bears fruit in its season. And that fruit is not just for you alone. It is for the next generation, for those you have never met, for souls sitting in darkness, waiting for someone to bring genuine light. You do not need to be perfect to be used. You only need to hold my word in your heart and let it work its miraculous power. I have never called you to success by the world's standards. I call you to bear fruit in the season of obedience. That fruit is not measured by fame, nor by social influence, nor by achievements. It is known by inner peace, by steady faithfulness, by unconditional love sown into a world full of hatred and deceit. And the source of all this sweetness is always a close connection with my word. My child, be careful, for the closer you come to the purpose I have set, the more the enemy will try to draw you away from the truth. It will not come in obvious forms. It will come as busyness, as reasonable excuses, as choices that seem harmless but cause you to neglect the life nourishing your soul. Therefore, stay alert. Guard the gate of your spirit. Whenever you feel distant from my presence, return to the Word, where I am always ready to embrace you and draw you near again. Do not think that what I am doing in you only affects the present. What you build by faithfulness to the Word will echo into future generations. The spiritual decisions you make today will pave the way for those who come after you to walk more easily. Each time you refuse falsehood and hold fast to truth, you break a chain that ancestors once bore. Each time you stand firm on my promises amid the storms, you rewrite the spiritual history of your lineage, not by human strength, but by the silent power of surrender. You are not merely reading my word, you are cooperating with me to complete a heavenly work. And that word is the sacred material, the cornerstone, the fortress wall, unmoved by fire or flood of this life. When you keep the word, you build a temple within your heart where my presence dwells, where my voice resounds, where my guidance never ceases. And in that temple, you will learn to live independent of circumstances, not swayed by opinion, but led by unchanging truth. I know there are times you wonder, does what I do really matter? Do these quiet hours of reading the Word, praying, disciplining myself actually accomplish anything great? And I say to you, every moment is noted by me. Every choice is recorded in the heavenly ledger. No sacrifice is wasted. No decision to walk in the Word is insignificant. For I see what others do not see. I see your heart. I see your motive sand. It is this sincerity that draws my presence powerfully. Keep walking. Keep holding the Word, even if you cannot clearly see the road ahead. If you keep the light of the Word, your steps will not stray. Though the night is long, that light is enough to lead you step by step. Though the winds blow hard, that flame will not be extinguished in one who guards it with worship and faith. You do not need to see the whole picture. You only need to be steady in what I have revealed. Your part is to walk in obedience. Mine is to bring to completion what I have promised. My precious child, I speak to you today not to confuse your heart, but to place within it a deep assurance. You are called to something greater than yourself. Not greatness as the world defines it, where fame and power are exalted, but greatness in my eyes, where a heart of obedience can shake an entire generation. I do not seek outward greatness from you. I seek faithful commitment to my word, seemingly small, but with the power to change destinies. You may not realize it, but every morning you wake and open my word, you are changing the spiritual atmosphere around you. Every time you choose to begin your day with my presence and guidance, you prepare not only yourself, but protect your family, your home, and those you will meet. My word is an invisible wall of fire, impenetrable by the arrows of darkness, yet tender enough to touch the deepest wounds. And you, yes, you, are invited to live between these two dimensions, strong yet gentle, majestic yet humble. If you have doubted your ability, your knowledge, or your experience to walk under heavenly guidance, today, I want to silence every negative voice that has ever echoed in your mind. I do not call the strong, I choose the willing. It is your humble, teachable heart, ready for my word to guide, that draws heaven's attention. You do not have to fight for recognition. I have accepted you. You do not need to prove yourself. I have placed my mark on you. And the only thing you need to do is keep walking with the word as your only compass. Imagine your life as a river. Water flows only when connected to the source. If a stretch breaks away from the main flow, the water will stagnate, become dirty, then dry up. Likewise, when your soul is no longer watered by my word, what once thrived in you begins to weaken. Faith becomes fragile. Love is easily replaced by bitterness. Mercy gives way to judgment. But the moment you return to me, sit down, open the word, and let your heart dissolve in what I speak, the flow will resume purer, deeper, stronger. My child, you cannot control everything that happens in life. Unexpected events, unforeseen trials, people who change their hearts, all of these can come. But you can control how you prepare your soul, and nothing prepares you better than my word. That word does more than convey information. It holds power. When you make that word your foundation, you will not be shaken by circumstances. Though the winds roar, you will stand firm. Though the waves rise high, your heart will remain calm, not because you are strong, but because you have anchored yourself in me, the one who never changes. When I look at you, I do not see a weak person struggling to live faithfully. I see a warrior being trained on the battlefield, nourished by eternal words, enveloped by an unshakable presence. I see a lamp being lit daily, not to shine for yourself, but to illuminate the path for souls wandering in the darkness. You are not merely a believer, you are a bearer of light. And that light is sustained, not by your willpower, but by the oil of the living word that flows each day. As you come to me, do not think that every time you open my word you must feel something dramatic. No, my child, there will be days when the word is like morning dew, gentle, thin, seemingly without immediate effect. But if you are faithful, if you do not neglect it, you will find your soul softening bit by bit. Places hardened by disappointment will gradually soften. Regions chilled by betrayal will slowly be warmed. Not because you understand everything, but because you yield to my word, and wherever true surrender is found, life flows freely. Beloved child, there is one truth I want you to engrave on your heart as essential. Your soul becomes like what you frequently encounter. If you allow your ears and heart to be filled with the noise of the world, criticism, distorted views, and images that warp truth, over time, your spirit will be twisted likewise. But if you choose to immerse your heart daily in my word, then the life from heaven will flow from deep within you, shaping how you think, feel, and act in a way that reflects me. I did not create you to be led by the unstable tides of emotion. I created you to be guided by the sure light of the Word. When you place your trust in what I say, you acknowledge that the final word does not belong to circumstances, but to me. This is where faith is established, not on easy days, but in seasons when everything seems silent, when you still choose to trust my word amid drought. You prove your foundation lies not in what the eye sees, but in the unshakable life rooted within. There are times when I do not speak anything new, not because I am distant, but because I am allowing you to dig deeper into what I have already spoken. Many chase after new revelations and exciting promises, yet remain unfaithful to the first word I gave. Do not be like them. Stay in the first promise. Stay in the first reminder. Be faithful to what I have placed in your hands. For success in my kingdom does not come from seeking the new, but from obedience to what has been given. If you remain faithful to one verse of my word, you will see it is enough to open the way for an entire new season. You do not need to understand everything to move forward. You only need to follow what I have spoken clearly. I do not demand perfection from you, but I seek loyalty. Those I use are not the ones who know everything, but those who listen, who do, and who stand firm when the winds blow against them. And you are in the process of becoming such a person, not by your own strength, but by the power of the word growing in you day by day. You once asked, "How do I know which is your true voice among the many voices shouting everywhere?" And I answer, my voice always leads you back to peace, not a false silence, but a deep peace that does not depend on circumstances. My voice does not push you into fear, nor drive you into chaos. It may challenge you and unsettle your heart when change is needed, but it always comes with light, with clear direction, and with the strength to do what I command. And one thing is sure, my voice will never contradict the written word, because I do not change, and my truth is eternal. You may be in a season where all doors seem closed. Nothing progresses. No one understands. No one encourages. But I want you to know that in that very place where it seems everything is absent, my word will become your only, yet abundant source of life. You do not need to see in order to believe. You only need to look at what I have said and let it become the lamp that guides your steps. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119-105. No other light will endure like the light of my word. For that light not only shows the way, but also transforms your mood, your vision, and your destiny. Let your soul be soaked in the word like a cloth absorbing fragrant water. Every time you return to me through scripture or silent prayer, you are being filled with the aroma of life. And when you step out from that quiet place, you need not say much. Others will notice that something is different in you, not because you can quote many passages, but because you live by the word, not because you can answer well in theological conversations, but because you live rightly in real life where truth is demonstrated through actions, not just words. You cannot teach others what you do not truly live, and you cannot live what you have not genuinely received. Therefore, do not rush to teach if your heart is still empty. Focus first on receiving and holding fast. Then the word will act on its own. It will flow out like a river, reaching barren places, pouring into weary souls, breaking through doors you cannot open yourself. For it is not you who imparts the word, but the living word that operates through you. My precious child, when you live by my word, you are sowing for a harvest invisible to the human eye. Those around you may not notice the transformation happening within. They may not hear the silent conversations between you and me in your private room. Yet heaven records every time you choose to keep a pure heart. Every minute you place truth above emotion. Every moment you choose faith over doubt. These acts, though unseen by the spotlight of the world, build foundations that cannot be shaken. Understand that every small action born from my word holds eternal value. A gentle word spoken when you have the right to resist. A forgiving glance given to one who hurt you. A quiet choice to walk in righteousness when no one is watching all. These are recorded in the heavenly realm. You need no applause, no full understanding from others. You only need to live as if I am beside you every moment. Because in truth, I always am. I have chosen you not because you are capable, but because you are willing. And when you are willing, I will do what you cannot do. I will make a way through the desert, water the dry ground with showers of grace, provide where it seems there is nothing to give. But first, I need your heart firmly anchored to my word, not by fleeting inspiration, not by season, but as a matter of survival. For the enemy does not fear those with temporary feelings, but trembles before those who are steadfast in living by the word, day by day. Remember when my people wandered the desert for 40 years, not because I lacked power to bring them to the promise, but because their hearts refused to cling to the word. They loved miracles but hated obedience. They longed for deliverance, but rejected the process of discipline. And it was that hardness of heart that delayed their destiny. I do not want that for you. I want you to move quickly, walk rightly, and fully enter what I have prepared. But you can only arrive there when my word becomes your daily sustenance, not just the food you seek when hungry. The difference between a spiritually mature person and a novice is not age, but the degree of attachment to the word. The mature do not live by emotional highs and lows, nor act according to circumstances, but live according to what has been spoken. They can remain silent amidst controversy, humble when misunderstood, persistent when forgotten, because they do not seek human approval, but keep themselves in the gaze of the Omniscient One. And that gaze has never left you since the day you opened your heart to receive what I give. Do not expect life to be free of trials once you choose my word. On the contrary, those who live by the word often face more challenges. Yet it is in those adversities that my word reveals its true power. It will lift you when you feel you cannot stand. It will remind you who you are in me when the world's voice tries to bury your identity. It will keep you steady when others choose the easy way. And as you walk in truth through the thorns, others will see a light not yours, but the light of me shining through your life. You may feel small amid the noisy crowd. You may be in a place where no one knows your name. No one praises your quiet faithfulness. But I see, I remember, and I will reward not with fleeting rewards, but with an unstealable prize reserved for those who allow the living word to root deeply in their hearts, whether they walk through drought or abundance. For the tree planted by the water, even in dry seasons, fears no harm, its leaves do not wither, and it bears fruit year after year. Jeremiah 17:7-8. My beloved child, now that you are nearing the close of this message, I want you to know this is not merely a message to hear and be momentarily moved by. This is a summons, a sacred call from heaven, addressed specifically to you at this very moment. It is no coincidence that you hear this word. It is no accident that your soul is awakened amid countless voices, for I have ordained, with wisdom beyond time, that you will enter a new season where my word is not just bread to nourish your soul, but a powerful instrument to transform every area of your life. There are words I have given you not to keep hidden in your heart, but to proclaim in the darkness, not to be concealed like a private treasure, but to become a living testimony. The world does not need more theories. It is starving for the real, and the real can only be revealed through the lives of those who have sat with me, who have wept in secret places, who have held my word as life itself, and who now are ready to step out not to speak for themselves, but to declare what I have placed within them. You do not need to wait until you are completely ready, for no one ever is by worldly standards, but I call you to walk in dependency on your own ability, but on grace. When you step forward, though trembling, when you open your mouth to share my word, though you feel inadequate, when you reach out to help another, even while your own heart is still wounded, I will come. I will complete my work. The Holy Spirit will move. Grace will cover. The power from on high will be revealed. You only need to go, and I will do what eyes cannot yet see. In this age, people are accustomed to hearing flowery words. They chase after worldly wisdom, shallow teachings wrapped in smooth language. But I call you to live differently. You are called to preserve the unchanging word amidst a world in constant flux, not as a rigid traditionalist, but as one who carries a flame of love, willing to be misunderstood, sidelined, just to guard sacred truth. And I tell you truly, there is a cost to living by truth, but there is an immeasurable reward, my delight, the applause of heaven, an eternal mark on your life. Perhaps you never thought you would be called to influence others, but the influence I give is unlike what the world praises. It does not come from numbers, but from presence. It does not depend on talent, but on closeness to me. And when one truly lives near my word, their light spreads effortlessly. They do not need to try to attract, for the life within them is a spiritual magnet, drawing others toward truth, stirring hunger in weary souls who begin to ask, how does he keep such peace? Why does she stand firm amid so much turmoil? And when they ask, you only need to answer simply, because I live by the word, not because I am talented, not because I have not known pain, but the word has kept me. The word has healed me. The word has restored what seemed lost. In that moment, you are no longer just a saved person. You become a leader, not by pressure, not by doctrine, but by the real life flowing from the living truth you have drunk, eaten, and now carry as part of yourself. My child, never think you are too small to make an impact. One faithful person living by the word can do more than 1,000 who live by emotion. A humble soul filled with the word can awaken a whole dry spiritual region. And one word you speak from a heart full of truth can be the seed that changes the destiny of a person on the brink of despair. Do not wait for a stage. Do not expect a microphone. You only need the word. And you only need to live that word with utmost sincerity. And I will do the rest. Prepare yourself. My beloved, doors will open. Unexpected encounters will come. Souls waiting for the bread of life will be placed on your path by me. But do not take what you have not eaten. Do not share what you have not lived. Keep drinking. Keep feasting. Keep abiding in me. then you will not worry about what to say or what to do. Because that very wordivery page, every verse, every quiet revelation will rise up within you at the right time, in the right way, in the right place. My dear child, as I look at you now, I do not see one struggling to keep faith out of exhaustion. I see one about to enter a season of commissiona season where what you have nurtured, what you once kept in secret, will begin to manifest visibly. But you must understand this: all things of eternal value begin in silence. Seeds do not grow under flashing lights. They quietly take root, silently draw nourishment, and reach deep down. Only when the season comes will that which was silent become visible to all. Therefore, do not rush out of the secret place. Do not step out before your heart is full of the Word. Do not let open doors make you forget that what keeps you standing firm is not opportunity, but the depth of your connection with me. The world applauds breakthrough, but heaven honors steadfastness. People cheer speed, but he reward endurance, and you are being refined to not only start strong but to finish in glory, not by talent, but by a life or death commitment to what I have spoken. When you are saturated with the living Word, you will no longer need external oversight to keep you from stumbling. For my Word will become a fence within you. It will alert you when your heart strays. It will guide you back when you step aside. It will be the voice amid the noise, whispering, "This is the way. Walk in it." And the sweetness of obedience you will taste will not be a passing feeling, but lasting fruit, deep peace, enduring joy, and a powerful awareness that you are living your true purpose. I know the world will grow harsher toward those who hold fast to truth. They will call good evil and evil good. They will mock righteousness and praise rebellion. But do not fear. Light is still light. Even if the world closes its eyes, truth remains truth, even if many deny it. And if you are in me, if you hold fast to my word, you will not only survive, you will thrive amid adversity. Like Daniel in the king's court, like Joseph in Egypt, like Esther in a foreign land, they were not swept away but became pillars, not because they were strong, but because they were anchored in the unshakable. You will see, those who live by my word are not always applauded, yet they are always protected, not because they avoid every storm, but because their souls are anchored in faith built upon the unchanging. When everything around shifts, you will not panic. When others chase after ease, you will walk steadily. When storms arise, you will not be shaken. For within you is a kingdom that cannot be moved. This is the mark of one who carries the wordon, who has made what I have spoken the foundation of every decision, every reaction, every dream. My dear child, do not fear the small days. Do not undervalue the quiet deeds. It is precisely in those unnoticed acts, a silent prayer, an unbragged decision, an unconditional forgiveness, that you are firmly building your life. You cannot know the true impact of a person who lives honestly in a generation lost and confused. But I know, and I promise you, no drop of water you offer me, no moment spent reflecting on my word, no tear shed in surrender, will ever be wasted. You are drawing near to what I have ordained, near to the moment I will reveal what I have long held in your heart. But now, more than ever, you must be cautious. Do not be distracted. Do not allow hurried doors to pull you away from the place I am filling. I am completing the work within you. I am preparing a launch pad. And when I say, the time has come, you will not need to strain. The door I open, no one can close. The door I close, no one can open. Your task is to keep your oil jar full, so that when the call sounds, you do not need to run searching, for you will already be ready. Now, with my word poured full and your soul expanded, I want you to lift your eyes not to your old life, not to your circumstances, but to me, for I am the one who began this work, and I am the one who will complete it. Every word I speak is not to stir fleeting emotions, but to build, to heal, to release, and to call you into the full life I have prepared. This is no longer a time to hesitate. This is the moment to rise not in haste, but with the deep steadiness that comes from faith built on the living word. You do not walk alone. Every word I speak will accompany you. It will become a light on dark paths. It will be a sword when you must fight. It will be a refuge when your heart wavers, and when you face crossroads, uncertain what to choose. My word will resound within not like thunder, but as a conviction impossible to deny. You will know what is right, not by feeling, but because you have learned to recognize my voice among many false ones. Guard your heart from impurity. Do not let the dust of this world dim what I have sown. Continue watering the seed of my word with perseverance, with worship, with quiet prayer. For what begins in silence will end in glory, not to exalt you, but so that my name may shine through you. Not so others say you are special, but so they look at you and see Metha One, who created, who called, who nurtured, and who fulfills the sacred plan in a life that may seem ordinary. My beloved, do not turn back to the land of doubt. Do not retreat into the shadows of hesitation. You have heard the word. You have received life. You know what is true. Sorrise. Keep going. Live out the word sown in your heart like one who knows they are loved, chosen, and sent. There are things only you can do. There are people only you are entrusted to touch. And I do not call you merely to sit with the word, but to step out and sow that word as a faithful farmer in a white field. Open your heart like good soil, neither hard nor doubtful nor mixed. When you let my word fall on that good soil, it will not only produce 1, but 30, 60, even 100-fold. And that harvest will touch other lives, not by show for lives, that was note, but by sincerity, not by argument, but by action. People do not need more sermons. They need a life truly lived. And you, if you remain in me, will be the most powerful testimony of life from heaven. My child, you are a precious seed in a vast field. You are a lamp not hidden, but set to shine. You are a voice awaited in a generation silenced by fear. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not a product of chance. You are a work of grace, created by eternal wisdom, appointed for a mission only you can fulfill. And every step you take, if taken in my word, will never lose its way. Hold my word as a priceless gem. Engrave it on your heart. Place it upon your lips. Live it out in every action. Then you will see what I have spoken will not only bring comfort, it will open a new door. It will place your feet on a new foundation. It will lead you from old places into a new season, not by pressure, but by power from above. That season is near, and you are prepared not by strategy, but by faithfulness, not by knowledge, but by the word deeply rooted in your spirit. And now, having heard my word fully, respond with surrender. Walk, live authentically, be steadfast. Sow even through tears if necessary, for you will reap with joyful shouts. Do not fear, do not be anxious, for I go before you. I cover you, I dwell within you, and I, the Word, will live in you forever. Thank you for listening to today's message. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we can continue to receive the living Word together. Build an unshakable faith and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.